Namaste Ratanatayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Zem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, and respected Venerable and everyone. So, as usual, we are here at the center on the Wednesday night. I was just reflecting the enlightenment of the Lord Buddha, that he spent so many years practicing meditation in different techniques and under the different teachers' advice. And after that he went on to practice by himself after he realized that the path he was following was not the path that leads to the liberation. And he strived himself, sat under the Bodhi tree and got enlightened. And after his enlightenment, he was contemplating on his achievements by sitting in different vicinity around the Bodhi tree. And one of the nights he was reflecting his teachings, that the teachings that defines the dependent origination, and which also talks about the co-arising. And in these teachings he reflected and contemplated for 7 days on this topic of a co-arising or dependent origination, or arising depending on something else. And that's teachings summarized with the things that arise with the condition is subject to decay and cease. And one who has known this conditions that forms this existence, he has liberated. So the liberation begins by understanding of this condition, and liberation liberates after we have realized this condition. And this dependent origination starts off with ignorance, or the avidya, ignorance. And ignorance is the cause for the forming sankhara. And then sankhara, the forming, is the cause to arise the mind and the matter. And then because of the mind and matter, then the rest of other things arises. Six senses arise. With the six senses, a contact arise. With the contact, with the desires arise. And with that desire, we grasp on that. With that grasping, we create or exist. And then with that existence, we become. And with that becoming, and once we become, and it's subject to old age and sickness and death. Now, this teachings, ignorance is something that difficult to grasp, and sometimes it is known as the first cause of a creation, but it's very difficult to grasp and very difficult to understand. So the three causes, the ignorance, formation, and then the mind and the matter, are the past causes to have this present body. And this present body, combination of the 5 aggregates, or also known as the 6 senses. Now, whatever we come to contact with the objects outside world, that generates the sensation, that generates the feeling. Now, not knowing this feeling, and which I normally relate to the ignorance, that rather than going into the first ignorance, I come to this level of this worldly life, of a level understanding of a feeling. So not knowing this feeling as the temporarily, we grasp onto it, creating onto one or another, pleasant or unpleasant. So then we form. Bodily we act or speak we do the speaking. With that, we create the existence or forming something. Now, and because of that forming, the very moment when we form, that exists, because we have created, we become a creator of the things. And that's how we grasp our views that we have, attitude that we have, the lifestyle that we have, we grasp onto it. And that's simply, we have created, we have formed. And that's why it's called a karma bhava. So the existence arises due to we have created. Yeah? Now, and the practice of a meditation is to understand this feeling to start off, because rest of other things it's very difficult to relate, but the feelings you can relate to yourself the very moment. Anything that comes to contact with our body, that generates the feeling. And now all the things that we are doing these days, even that's based on the feelings too. So when we are practicing, we are working with the feeling. Yeah? And then again, to work with the feeling, we have to go through the body. Without the body, we don't have the feeling. It always goes through the six senses. Without having the six senses, then there is no feeling. So we have to work with the six senses. So working with the six senses is the part of the vipassana meditation, insight meditation. But again, it's not easy to focus on which sense we are going to work with. So we have to focus one, whichever one is that. So, and to working with these six senses and to work with the one, that's why we have to narrow down our focus, narrow down our attention, where we are putting our attention. When we are narrowing down, so that's why we come to contact with the body. Aware of the body, feeling of the body, with connecting with the body. So when we gradually connect with the body, a feeling become the medium. A feeling become a medium to contact or feel the body. And then with this contact, we will realize this feeling, and then we will realize this body. And then each body and each feeling, then again, it's formed by condition from one or another. And without that condition, again, there is no mind. Okay? So when we are practicing, that's why we begin with the paying attention to one object. And that's one object, again, is not the object itself. And slowly we have to release that. And once we have released it, whatever is happening, we're simply aware of it and being mindful of that, the things that's taking place. And aware of that things that is taking place, or being mindful of that, is not enough either. We have to go into deeper understanding the true nature of it, that how it is functioning, and the character of it, characteristics of that, the object or that things that we are observing. And that's the ultimate. So we will be able to understand that how it was formed and how it is going to release. And so that's why in the Satipatthana Sutta, the old parts, Buddha was talking about knowing the arising. It's called samudaya dhamma. So knowing how it is forming, and then staying, how long it is staying, and then vaya dhamma, so it's vanishing. So understanding the kaya vaya dhamma, so whatever it arises remains, and then the decay or the vanishing, it understanding of that nature in even a small tiny bit of things, very subtle, then we take it as the insight. So it's called upada titi panga, arises, remains, and then vanishes. So that's the ultimate part of the insight meditation that we are aiming to. Okay, so with this reflection, let's do the practice, and try to be mindful of things that arises And then whatever you're observing, and that's arised already, you are forming, you're aware of it, and then it remains certain minutes or certain seconds of time, and it vanishes. So aware of that three characteristics of the nature. Okay, so let's do the practice. So bring your mind and your heart to the room and to your body, and spending a few moments settling down, grounding yourself, spending a moment with your object of concentration, free from distractions. And aware of the arising and falling as it rises and as it falls. Settling down, grounding yourself onto the primary object as it rises, as it falls. And as you feel that your mind is concentrated and settled down, slightly opening your senses, aware of things that's taking place and how it manifests. You may begin with the rising, falling, how it is manifested, how it is conditioned. A breath is conditioning it to rise and fall. And that's how it is manifesting. And that's how it is conditioning. And how you are observing. The movement of arising, falling is conditioned to aware, being a mindful. Is it the rising, falling causes you to be mindful of it, or you're focusing, or you're intentionally paying attention to it, so you're aware of it? It doesn't matter how it is manifesting, simply aware, observing, whether it is rising, falling of abdomen, or whether it is the condition that you are observing, the rising, falling. And what is your reaction to it? How are you reacting? Whether you are just responding as they are, or you are reacting into this or that. So the reaction forms into action. And the reaction always, and due to the nature of our mental state, of a greed or the resistance or the illusion, we are born with the 6 qualities, 3 unwholesome qualities and 3 wholesome qualities. The unwholesome qualities are the greed, hatred and the delusion, and the 3 wholesome qualities are the love, generosity and wisdom. So it's our reaction that defines. So whatever is there, are simply aware and understanding with the wisdom. Arises, remains for a while, and changes and vanishes. So rising is the cause for the falling, and falling is the cause for the rising. Similarly, the rising, falling is the cause for the mind to observe, or the mind is the cause to observe the rising, falling. So depending on one another, it is arising, and it's a nature, it's a natural truth. But any reaction to it is our action, sankhara, creating, forming. The very moment when we form, it's a concept, not the reality. We're not working with the concept. We are working with the reality as it is. So, continuously practicing diligently, urgently, until you hear the gong.